Welcome back to the STEM Career Accelerator. I'm Bobby Sass, and I want to talk with you today about what successful practitioners know that you don't. There are three things that successful practitioners know. They know the 5 traits of expertise, and I've already revealed those to you, and we're going to get into more details in a later lesson about those as well. So you have some information already that successful practitioners know. But maybe you don't know what you can offer the world as an expert. And maybe you don't yet know how to develop a deliberate practice towards expertise. If you recall, the 5 traits of expertise are that experts are skilled in pattern recognition. When they approach a problem, they conceptualize it based on foundational knowledge and principles. From there, they determine solutions and they make a plan and they strategize. And then they restate that problem in terms of its constraints, limitations, and uncertainties. And finally, they participate in the solution. You may also recall that we spoke about a framework for developing expertise that followed on from the work of Anders Ericsson. And this is a framework that is built out of psychological research. It involves intentional progressions to your career. So you learn foundational knowledge just as any expert has to. You understand the applications, you understand the purpose, you develop primary skills, you move through from student to internship to generalist, and eventually you develop a deliberate practice. And in developing that deliberate practice, you become a specialist and an expert. But it takes deliberate practice to get there. And when you're looking down the abyss of your career, when you're saying, how will I ever become an expert? How does anyone become an expert? How do you look down into the abyss and know that there is a way out? You have to know the 5 keys to deliberate practice. So if you want to unlock deliberate practice, you need to forget passion and you need to know your purpose. You've got to build skills that beat out the competition. And with those competitive skill sets, you have to gain control, not only of your career, but of something else happening in your professional world. In that process, you're going to turn your purpose into a quest. You become the hero of your journey to expertise. In order to do that, in order to go on that quest, you have to find out the smaller missions that are needed to complete that quest. If you want to unlock these mysterious 5 keys to deliberate practice, fundamentally, you've got to know your deeper purpose. And once you have that, you can build out the rest. Building competitive skills is not just about building technical skills. It's not just about building soft skills like emotional intelligence and administrative skills. It's about building any skill that is 2 things. It needs to be scarce and it needs to be valuable. Scarcity in skill sets is about there not being enough of it in the marketplace. Value in skill sets is about it being a skill that is actually useful in its application, that actually delivers value to a client, a customer, a user, to people in your company. It has to deliver some sort of value. It could be monetary value. It could be that your skill set makes a lot of money. It could also be that your skill set delivers quality. It assures the quality of the product or service. But it's got to be scarce. It's got to be rare in order to be competitive. And from there, you need to gain control. And gaining control is not about the focus and control that we talk about with developing a growth mindset. It's about developing a leadership quality to your deliberate practice. And then once you are the leader, you have to define the quest that you are going to undertake. And the quest needs to incorporate your top goals, but it also needs to incorporate innovation. Innovation takes valuable skills, competitive skills. It takes leadership. It takes being in control of a product or a service. And that is then how you define the quest. Put your top goals in connection with some sort of innovative product or service. Then you need to figure out the smaller missions necessary in order to meet the end goal of that big quest. And that's really about accomplishing your sub goals. If you remember back to the career transformation plan, it's about those sub goals and new sub goals that you will develop using the SMART system in order to have an innovative aspect added to your goals, in order to understand how leadership's going to play into that, and making sure that the skills that you're evaluating in the skill set table are scarce and valuable. But what connects, what bridges your competitive skills to leadership and control? It's feedback. You need consistent feedback, both on your skills and on your leadership abilities, in order to hone them, in order to grow them and develop them. What connects your leadership and your control with your overall quest? It's risks. It's small risks, it's moderate sized risks, not large risks, but small risks that you calculate. Things that you bet, that you gamble, that you think within some reasonable margin that you can achieve, but they're risky. Leadership requires you to take risks. So does innovation. Ultimately, you need results. In order for the missions to matter, there has to be results. In order for the quest to actually be achieved, you have to have results along the way. And if we look back to where we go from having our deeper purpose to building competitive skills to gaining control through leadership, and then defining this quest that relates your top career goals to something innovative, there's a key aspect of your mindset and of your behavior that is going to carry you through, and it's patience. But patience doesn't get results necessarily. It helps you to be patient as you're working towards results. And patience doesn't accomplish sub goals. Action does. And so you have to be persistent in your actions. This is a diagram that provides you the blueprint to unlocking deliberate practice. Use it wisely. And in this process of developing your deliberate practice, don't forget that along the way to deliberate practice, there are 3 lessons that you must keep in mind. If you want to be balanced, you have to reward yourself for the achievements that you are making. You have to maintain a balanced form of momentum. It's not just about motivation, it's also about maintaining a balanced momentum, always making a little bit of progress, and keeping people first. Relationships, your network, the people above and below you, if your company or your organization has a hierarchy, they all come first. And you come before your expertise. Keep up your self-care. This is the only way to build a truly sustainable, deliberate practice. I hope that you took away this important lesson, and I look forward to seeing you in the next session.